ladies and gentlemen, we have reached a part where I am basically proving why you don't want to go into urban combat with a tank. So for as long as I can remember, I've been a Battlefield player, starting from the earliest days of Battlefield 1942 with the Desert Combat mod, and then the hours upon hours in every Battlefield game until Battlefield 3. And it's of course Battlefield 3 that we're looking at today, because I'm Panzer, former tank commander, and I'll be playing through the iconic tank mission from Battlefield 3, that is Thunder Run. Let's begin. Okay, yeah, I mean, you can have personal items on the tank. There's not a lot of room for personal stuff, but you can always find stuff for little things like that. What is this formation exactly? That looks sort of like a wedge left, but there's a tank way out left that's really far forward. This formation's all over the place right here, and there's a truck. You can kind of see it in the dust there. There's a truck in the middle of the formation. You wouldn't want that. You'd want everyone to be either line out or sort of wedge right, because you might be expecting contact in that direction, so having that tank all the way out there doesn't really make sense. But it's still a little bit messy. I mean, this second tank down here can't really engage anyone, other than straight ahead, which is, yeah. You want a clean line as much as possible. Alright, we're going in. So I've never seen the inside of an Abrams before, so I don't know if the screen is necessarily accurate, but I know a lot of tanks were going towards that. So that's probably plausible, at least. A lot of missiles firing over there. Okay, toggling zoom. That's pretty accurate. Okay. Yeah, on the way is a correct command for that. The shells are a little floaty. They're a little bit slow moving, I think. They don't explode though. There's a little flash when they hit something. AP Sabo rounds don't do that. We also don't get a warning for any damage that's been taken. We might get a warning if there's incoming like lasers and things like that from detectors and sensors, but no, we don't get a warning if we've taken damage. 1 times and 3 times zoom doesn't seem accurate. I believe in the Abrams it's is it a 4 times and an 8 times? I'm not 100% sure what they have, but it's definitely not a 3 times. Okay, he just called hull down in reference to the enemy. That's an actual call. They might be in hull down position, but yeah, this is pretty accurate here. Like the thermal view, being able to see through dust and things like that, that is something you might want to use it for. It's not going to be as clear as all that, but it does work. The image of the tanks in thermal though is a little bit weird. The engine compartment definitely would be very, very bright. It's definitely brighter, you can see it, but it's not as bright as it actually would be. Okay, let's just have a look. Are we actually in a line? It looks like we kind of are. Okay, so we got some sort of integrated video feed. Yeah, there are some systems that might be able to do this. What are we lasing? So it's like laser guided. Oh no, it's a gun run. Okay, yeah, guns don't need lasers. They don't need lasers. For laser guided bombs, definitely. But you wouldn't be lasing for guns. Alright, this is a pretty realistic interior. That is not an AP round. That's actually an HE round that he just loaded there. That's not a Sabo round. Sabo rounds look a lot more like arrows or darts. But the operation and all that looks pretty accurate to the real thing. Oh, that's a missile coming in between us. Okay, we're gonna fire. We are still apparently firing APs, so... Okay, we got coax. The coax doesn't typically have its own reticle. You usually fire based on what you're seeing here. This is pretty accurate to what you would actually do. You would use coax against troops on the ground. Typically, you're not going to be firing your 120 at them. One thing I noticed that we don't have the option of doing is laser firing, which is for range finding. We don't have the option of doing that, which is what you would typically do for any 120mm firing. Not necessarily for coax, although you would sometimes do that for sure. Alright, switching to that. So close ranges like this, not a big deal. So I believe we're supposed to just lay waste to the entire base here. We got launchers firing. So I don't know about you guys, but if you're an artillery crew and you're under attack by a company of tanks, I don't know if you'd continue firing your your missiles or reloading them. I don't think you'd be doing that. Yeah, some of these callouts are pretty realistic. Like, you would give target designation like that. Left shift to boost speed. Okay, no, you wouldn't do that. Tanks do not have a sprinting ability. It's just, no. I do understand the Abrams has a turbine engine, like a jet turbine engine, and it does produce a lot of power, so the tanks can be pretty fast on open ground. So, with our normal speed being limited to about 40 kph, it's the sort of speed you would want to maintain for a formation, but not necessarily what the top speed of the actual tank is. Okay, let's try to maintain some level of formation with these guys. So this is what you would call like a line abreast formation, kind of moving into a wedge now. So that's useful if you have possible engagements on either side of you and you want to cover your flanks a little better. It just allows more tanks to shoot to the sides than you would have if you were just, you know, side by side instead. The spacing is a little bit close, but nothing really wrong with it. Just for open ground, we're a little close. Makes you more vulnerable to like airstrikes and the like if you're too close together. Okay, are these enemies? Okay, we got enemy tanks. I'm gonna shoot the tanks first. I think the trucks are targets as well, but the tanks are a bigger threat. Trucks don't tend to shoot back. So I'm trying to compensate for how slow these rounds actually move, and it's a little bit tricky. So one thing about coax firing as well, which you don't see in a lot of games, is heat management. The guns all tend to either never overheat or they overheat way too fast. So we tend to fire in short bursts of at least about 3 to 4 seconds at a time. And it just helps to keep the heat down. Okay, he just tripped over and died, I guess. Alright, I guess we're moving up ahead. So a lot of these tanks are sort of facing this way, but they're angled in a weird way. So are they trying to side scrape right now? It's just kind of funny seeing them all side on towards where they're aiming. But they've got the Tusk armor on them, which is interesting. Alright, so we're moving up. So typically, if we're moving along here, I would want some sort of spotting element or another platoon of tanks up there or along this ridge line kind of looking down so they can do some sort of long overwatch, especially if we're advancing very cautiously. We'd want to do that. So yeah, this is a situation where a commander being out of the hatch, that's okay. You're not expecting immediate contact, and your concern is more avoiding crashing into debris and things. As good as your driver is, they can't see everything, so sometimes you might want to pop your head out and have a look. Make sure that you're clear of any obstacles and that. Wait, are there friendlies on that? Wow, that's one hell of a danger close right there. You're dropping a unguided bomb that close? So it looks like we got friendlies stuck over here. Oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we getting out? Why are we getting out? There's enemy fire and there's clearly room to move. Why would we get out? Okay, this part makes no sense. See, the tank can move forward without... I could have stayed on the tank for all of this. What are we detonating? Okay. Okay. Before we continue, what I would do in this situation is get up on that 50, suppress one angle, get another tank out to maybe down here somewhere and suppress that angle, and get the infantry to push forward to go and capture this. That's what I would actually do. You got the tank, use it. Okay, I gotta go underneath the machine gun fire. Oh, okay, there's an enemy right there. Also, yeah, crewmen don't have radios. We don't carry radios. It's all in the tank. So we would be hearing absolutely nothing right now. Especially with a crewman helmet on. Without it being powered, you can't hear shit. It's like wearing a pair of earmuffs on your head. Okay, what are we blowing up exactly? Oh, there's a minefield. So they put mines in the middle of the road? Oh my god, okay. Well, the tank's fine. I would probably be dead. That ERA... Oh, we don't have the ERA anymore. Wait. They have... Why don't we have it? Why don't we have the Tusket? We got screwed. Oh, now we get on the 50. Whoa. Also, that's realistic though. RPGs hitting tanks, not that dangerous. I know the multiplayer is a little different, but yeah, it might damage the track potentially. It might be able to damage some of the suspension, stuff that's exposed, but it's not going to break the armor. Okay, see, this is a point where if you're in contact, I'd be doing what that guy's doing and be inside my hatch. I wouldn't be sticking out like this. Also, the gunner should definitely be firing the 120 right now. There's an enemy tank there, apparently. Use the 120! You have the gun. Fire the gun! Okay, he fired, but he missed. I can see why... Okay. I can see why the commander apparently shoots. This gunner can't aim. Come on! Where was the 120? Okay, I'm sorry. We just lost a tank to a car bomb because this gunner didn't fire on it. So at this point, I would like to point out that even with the commander outside, he can still direct the gun. You can use tracer fire from the commander's machine gun to direct the gun. So you can give a fire order and direct it as on my tracer. Okay, we got another car bomb coming in. I'm still wondering why the commander is not getting inside his vehicle. If he's gonna stay out, he's gotta do something useful, right? Firing the 50 like this isn't that useful. Okay. Urban combat. I've mentioned many times that tanks shouldn't be going into an urban area. It's not impossible, and there are tactics for this, but it's not an ideal situation. Look at all the angles that we'd have to cover. And as much as I did say that RPGs are not dangerous to a tank normally, if they're fired at your roof from up here, they can get significantly more dangerous. And not to mention the danger of hidden mines, IEDs, and just troops being able to get very close to your tank, which is definitely not what you want.
Down here. We're gonna button up hatches.
Yep, that's a good tactic. Close up the hatches. And he's absolutely right about that. If you don't have troops supporting you on the ground when you're going to urban combat, getting a good sense of what's happening around the tank is hard when you're completely buttoned up like this. Okay, we've got... Oh, shit. Okay, so we had RPGs there. Yep. Ooh, okay, I don't like this. So they want us to go through this building. That's not a good idea, but it is part of the mission, so we have to do it. But just for your own understanding here, if we go through this, there's a lot of things that can land on the tank. You don't know what you're going to be breaking through, and there could also be some soft floors as well where you could end up falling into a basement, for example. You don't want to be doing this. And you also don't want the gun forward because the gun sticks out in front of the hull. But if I do it the proper way, I can't actually see where I'm going. But I'm gonna do it the proper way. Okay, that went without incident, mostly. Are those infantry? Are they our infantry? Oh, that's a tank. Okay. Interesting that none of these infantry heard us coming through that building. That's an enemy tank right there. Okay, so we're getting into a pretty bad situation here. Pretty exposed in an urban area. Definitely not where we want to be. There's a blockage over here. I think I can go up that stairwell there. Yeah, going up the stairway down here. So we got friendlies up ahead, I guess. Oh, we just got hit. Okay. So ATGM just hit us in the rear. No, you don't want to open anything right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached a part where I am basically proving why you don't want to go into urban combat with a tank. At this point in time, tanks down. Everyone should be bailing out. We shouldn't be fighting here. We need to be bailing out. Alright, it's time for the Marines to get out. What about us? No, we need to be getting out of here now. The better situation would be to bail out of the tank and find some cover in the building. Yeah. immobilized tank means that can happen. So that's going to do it for me for the Thunder Run mission of Battlefield 3. Let me know what you think about these. I do plan on doing a few more sort of playing and reacting type videos on these sort of iconic tank missions in other games as well. Let me know what you would like to see down in the comments. Of course, don't forget to check out the rest of my videos. My name is Panzer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.